Welcome back to Home Track Heroes here on CW11 Evergreen Speedway. Just 10 laps to go before the break here. Summer Showdown 200 lap race, and we're going back to green flag racing action. This time it's Owen Riddle, your leader, but he still chooses the inside lane. Derek Thorne on the outside.
Yeah, well, this caution, just 10 laps to go. It gives drivers like at the far right of your screen, Donnie Wan and Garrett Evans, who started the back of the pack, last chance to gain a few more spots before the halfway break, so they really can learn what it would be like for a late race caution on these tires if that comes down to the end of the race. So 10 laps to go for the halfway break as they stack up and come off turn number 4.
Green flag is out on this one, and Derek Thorne powers on the outside as we see a car slow on the low side there. That's Jay Sauls, but he pulls in the pit road there. Here they come down off of turn number 2, and Derek Thorne not backing down in this one.
Yeah, and huge run, was able to carry the momentum off of turn number 2, and he's going to clear Owen Riddle going down into turn number 3 and off of turn number 4. Preston Peltier putting all sorts of pressure on the back of the 10 car as they stack up for about 6th on back.
Yeah, good run here, and kind of interesting to see how the start goes there because Owen Riddle was so good before that last caution, though, and you got to wonder, maybe was Derek Thorne holding a little bit back?
He could have been, as we see the battle just outside the top 8 is Taylor Riddle and Tyler Tanner as they battle side by side. It's your highest side by side battle. Nema Langston right there in the 9th position, and then Hyder and Evans battle for 10th.
Yeah, two drivers we haven't talked a whole lot about, Tyler Tanner and Taylor Riddle. Both those drivers, a lot of success. Taylor Riddle, former winner of this race. Tyler Tanner, he's won on the 5/8 of 4, a former 2-time track champion. Just his 2nd race of the year out there in the 65 car. And then the 00 hero, a 5-time Evergreen Speedway champion, Nema Lang.
Yeah, I think that the place would go nuts if that 00 is able to end up in victory lane, as he probably has more fans than anyone out here in Monroe, Washington.
You see him battle on there. Great speed shot there. You see Garrett Evans now going to tuck his blue 64 nose in the front there to try to battle up there as he's made some progress through this field. We go back up front there. Look at the lead that Derek Thorne has put over Owen Riddle.
Yep, 107 laps to go in this race, but only 7 until the break as Derek Thorne flashes by the front straightaway, and there goes a little bit of contact between your 2 second-place drivers. They're able to save it going into the corner. That allows Brandon Farrington to stick his nose in, but that got a little close for comfort going into turn number 2.
It's a good thing the break is coming up because they need to check Owen Riddle's pants there. But here they come down the back stretch there. Oh, slow. Something wrong with the 00 hero, Nema Lang. Very slow and not something you want to see happen. Will he make it all the way around the track? Something going sour on the 00 car.
I don't see any fluid behind that car as he goes by the turn 4 or turn 3 camera. So could maybe just lost power, maybe out of fuel for the 00.
Yeah, as he slows it down there, I got to wonder, can he make it back here in time as the caution flag does wave for the field there. That'll slow the field there as you see Nema Lang top it down there on the low side. So one more caution here before the break, and you see the smoke there.
Yeah, there's some smoke and some fluid now. You see that trail that's big problems for that 00 car as he tries to coast all the way down to pit road. And oh no, the 18 car coming to pit road also. So problems for Preston Peltier as he enters the wrong way of pit road.
Yeah, that's not the way you normally would enter. I know the reason why Nema Lang came in there because the oil down there, but Preston Peltier goes in the wrong way to pit road there. You got to wonder something going wrong on the car as he pulls it down in front of his team there. His team not around. They're going to go look to work on the 18 cars. He's in that $80,000 quest here, and you got to wonder.
They're going under the hood, looks like.
Under the hood, you got to wonder what goes wrong. It just maybe lost power on it. And what are they grabbing there? Is that fuel? It's fuel. They're going to grab fuel, so he has ran out of fuel on the 18 car. Not something you want to see happen.
Yeah, so he entered the wrong way and entered before pit road was open, so we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is, if there is one, for that 18 car. That is a tough break, as we're going to bring it up to the booth, catch our breath for a second. This is the NASCAR officials made this the halfway break, so it'll be a 107 lap shootout for the 25 grand check.
Yeah, $25,000 to the winner, and unfortunately, I think it's going to be a tough call for Preston Peltier to get all the way back up there to go for the $80,000. But right now, the battle we've seen up front there, as it was Preston, Owen, and Derek Thorne, but now it's going to be Derek Thorne and Owen Riddle, and those two have been lights out so far early on.
Exactly, yeah, and that's going to put Brandon Farrington into the 3rd spot as we saw him gain a ton of position there when the 2 drivers got together. But this segment is brought to you by NC Machinery for the best in Caterpillar equipment, from excavators to backhoes goes to Dozers and More, CNC Machinery in Monroe for all your heavy-duty equipment rental needs, as the one to go is out. 107 laps remain for us. Whoa, huge spark show off the 14 of Chris Davidson. Something going awry on the 14 car after the halfway break.
It's definitely something broke on the right front of that car, Chris Davidson, and lucky enough it broke on the pace laps here and not going into turn one, because that's not something you want to break going into turn one at Evergreen Speedway. Could have been catastrophic for more than just Chris Davidson, so tough break for the Texas driver, but we're going back to Green Flag Racing.
Yeah, great job of him getting into the pit road entrance. So Green Flag is back out on a huge jump from Derek Thorne off the corner, as Owen Riddle's going to tuck in underneath. We'll see if that restart sticks as they go down into turns number 1 and 2, as yellow lights do come back on, so they're going to call that start back. We're going to go take a quick look at it and see what the NASCAR officials saw, but tough break there for Derek Thorne, as he had a huge jump there, but it was a little too early for the NASCAR officials' liking.
Yeah, the officials brought up in the driver's meeting to watch your start. You only get warned one time, and yeah, you see it there. Derek Thorne just kind of left Owen Riddle back there all by himself, and you're supposed to be side by side coming off of turn 4 there, and that's not what you want to see. So they're going to go one more tryout this time. So Derek knows you got to behave this time. Don't want to lose your lead and have to go to the back of the pack.
Yeah, and Preston Peltier, we might add, is 1 lap down, so he's going to have to either get into a lucky dog spot and have the caution come out, or drive his way through the field and unlap himself. So tough break there for the 18. He's going to have to come from the back once again as the cars go through turns 3 and 4, getting ready for green.
Green flag, and a lot better start this time by both Owen Riddle and Derek Thorne. As you see the speedy dry there coming up from the oil down from Neyma Lang, that sometimes cause a little issue for drivers going around the track, and visibility and sometimes traction as well. As you see the 25 car of Brandon Farrington right there. And how about this? Mike Longton, the Moxie Missile, up there in the 5th position.
Yeah, he's bided his time well. He kept his car underneath him and was able to make the right adjustments as he's worked through, knocking on the door of looks like Dylan Capello trying to get into that 4th spot and try to hunt down Brandon Farrington for a spot on the podium.
We talked about drivers coming from the back there. You see Garrett Evans was up there as well into the top 7 coming from the back of the pack. And you see back there Jesse Little, Tanner Holm in the 48, the 17 of Max Schroeder. There's Preston Peltier in the 18 car. Battle back there with Trenton Moriarty in the 12, Daniel Moore in the 16 car. Wow, just dicing and slicing all over the track. We got battles everywhere.
Yeah, and after the halfway break, these drivers have the best tires they've had since the start of the race, and actually probably since qualifying a few nights ago. So it's definitely the best tires that these drivers had, and they want to use them up while they can, but also not overwork them, as they got to keep these tires under for 105 more laps.
The 64 and the 65, so many battles over the years, whether it be Kelly Tanner or Tyler Tanner with the 64 of Garrett Evans, and they're battling once again for position. That is for the 7th position right there, and Tristan Hyder right there behind Garrett Evans, riding comfortably in that 9th position.
Yeah, I'm sure Tristan Hyder's definitely filling up his notebook as well, as he's behind probably the guy who has more laps than anyone else here on the 5/8 mile of Evergreen Speedway, as he's looked to the inside coming off the corner. Great run for the 24 down the front straightaway.
They go into turn number 1 there. Hyder looks to the low side of Garrett Evans and trying to make it work there. We've seen that run that Garrett has. It's the very kind of about maybe a car length and a half up higher than anybody else, but it's actually worked to his favor early on this race. As you see Taylor Riddle up there as well, another driver who's won this race but been very quiet early on.
Yeah, when you roll the corner like Garrett Evans does, it makes you not have to use as much brakes going into the corner, so it is less hard on your equipment. You're able just to roll through the corner as much. You're not getting on the throttle as hard as when you roll the bottom, so it's definitely a line to conserve your equipment that Garrett Evans is running, and so far it's proven as he's rolling that line, coming from the back of the pack and knocking on the door, trying to get inside the top 5.
Donnie Wannet had a great run last night, finished 2nd in the race, is right behind Tristan Hyder there in the 89 car. Donnie, former track champion right here, not racing as much as he has in previous years, but you know, it's Evergreen Speedway, his home track, one that he's been very strong at and is riding comfortably there. Now you see that battle heating up between Tyler Tanner and Taylor Riddle. Two of these drivers have been two of the most dominant drivers in the 5/8 track. You know, before, we'll say, Preston Peltier's reign, those two are always wanting to keep an eye on, but Tyler Tanner over the years has had kind of the snake bitten bug of the 5/8 track. Has had a lot of success on the 3/8 track, but has had his struggles over the years in the 5/8.
Yeah, random broken pieces on the car or just bad luck in general on that 65, but so far he's been able to keep it together. So he's still inside the top 10. Hopefully he was able to make the right adjustments at the halfway break to be there at the end of the race, but he's got to get past Taylor Riddle and then hunt down Mike Longton for 5th.
Good battle back there now between Cody Vanderwall and Trenton Moriarty. Vanderwall going to try the outside lane of Moriarty, trying to make it work. But been very good run for Cody Vanderwall, the 43 car. Like we've said multiple times, his first time here in a late model, but he has been here before in the big cars. We'll go back up front once again for that battle between Tyler Tanner and Taylor Riddle for the 6th position, right outside that top 5 battle right now, and just kind of comfortably riding along.
Yeah, this back half of the top 10 is really, really good racing. It's from Taylor Riddle all the way back to Donnie Wana, who sits outside the top 10. It's been phenomenal racing, and it's hard to keep your eye off of it as Tyler Tanner still works on the back bumper of Taylor Riddle, wanting to get by that 15, but he can't wait too long, because Garrett Evans will start putting pressure on the 65 in no time.
Look back up to your leaders there, Derek Thorne and Owen Riddles. You saw the kind of the front end of Owen Riddle car drop to the low side there, coming off of turn number 2. You see the speed shot down. You see kind of the gaps between those top 3 drivers there. Dylan Capello been really comfortable in that 3rd position, but just kind of riding along by himself back there, not really putting pressure on the leaders, but he's got some space between himself and 4th place driver.
Yeah, just weighing on maybe some lap traffic to help him out catch the leaders, or maybe just saving his equipment in general for maybe a caution later on in the race. As one thing about Evergreen Speedway is there's no certain lap count for them to get to throw a caution. They just let the race run out minus a halfway break. So not like some other big money races you see where every 50 laps they throw a caution, a bunch of people back up. Oh no, Jay Sauls, former winner of the Summer Showdown, pulling into the pits. So trouble on that 20 car. We saw him pull in earlier on a restart, and he's back in the pits again. So hopefully they're able to fix whatever it is on that 20 car and get him back out, as we're going to check back in the battle for 6th.
Battle back there with Taylor Riddle, the unfamiliar red 15. For so many years we've seen like kind of the gray or blue 15 or white 15, but brought the car to the track this weekend and kind of threw people off. It's a red 15 car, but it's still that familiar number scheme. They call him Skin Taylor Riddle, the former 2016 winner of this event. That's actually the car that the last time that car was on this track was when it won this race. It actually sold for a couple of years, and he was able to get it back for this weekend's race to run it, and was happy to be back and very comfortable in that car.
So the revival of his winning car, and hopefully bringing some good luck for him, is he's been inside the battle. He's been around that 5th place spot all night long. So hopefully their team was able to fix whatever they needed to do to get inside that top 5 and really battle hard. As there goes Tyler Tanner, huge run off of turn number 2. He's going to get to the inside of Taylor Riddle going into turn number 3 and make the pass.
So new 6th place driver, that's going to be Tyler Tanner in that 65 car, a car he built. Tyler actually relocated now, lives back east with his girlfriend Molly Helmuth in North Carolina. Actually drove this car out here a couple of weeks ago to race it here at Evergreen Speedway, his home track, but works back in the industry now in North Carolina, the kind of the hotbed of short track racing. But you always will see him here at the Summer Showdown weekend. He'll find a way to get in a car or build a car just for this race.
Oh yeah, he loves this track, especially the 5/8 mile portion of it. As we're going to check back in with your leaders, Derek Thorne has not been able to shake Owen Riddle at all, as they've really checked out from the 57 Dylan Capello now, as they go down into turn number 3 and 4, coming up on just 90 laps remaining, as these two are really shaping up for one heck of a battle later on if they keep this up, because they are definitely the class of the field.
One thing that people don't realize on the 5/8 track compared to the 3/8 track was the 3/8 was repaved back in 2017, and the original 5/8 track, it's been the same surface for a while. So when you're on the backstretch, you're on old surface. Turns 3 and 4, old surface. Now you come off of turn number 4 here, down the front stretch here, you kind of see it change right there where the lines start changing. That's all new asphalt. There's actually kind of a transition there, so you go from like no grip to some grip, and then it changes once again right there. You see it going into turn 1. It's a very unique track. You don't see very many tracks like that where half the surface or maybe a quarter of the surface is brand new and then the other half is the original. But that's the one thing about this track. There's so much character to the 5/8 track here at Evergreen Speedway. And you see the battle as Donnie Wana looks to the inside of Tristan Hyder there. I think that puts him into the top 10.
Yeah, Tristan Hyder started dropping. He was putting a lot of pressure on the back of Garrett Evans now. The 24 dropping as Donnie Wana gets to the inside. Trent Moriarty looking to follow through as well. So not the direction that Tristan Hyder wants to be moving inside that 24 car as he starts to fall backwards.
Good battle back there as you see Wana slides up the track. Here comes Trenton Moriarty on the low side there, trying to make it in there. Gets a little loose that time off the corner.
Going down into turns 3 and 4. This is a great battle just outside the top 10. We got Donnie Wana, Tristan Hyder slowing up quite a bit off the turn number 4 right there. That's going to allow Trent Moriarty to get to the inside. So Donnie Wana is still looking for that extra 10 grand payday, but he's got to start moving if he wants to get inside that top 3.
Yeah, he's slowly moving up through the field. Still a long ways to go, but there's still 86 laps left in this one, so there's a lot of things that can happen. We know the 5/8 at Evergreen Speedway. Things do happen at certain times, and you never know how to to guess this race is going to go along. You see Garrett Evans starting to close that gap on Taylor Riddle there for the 7th position.
Cody Vanderwall, we see come across your screen right there as he starts to set his sights on the 24, Tristan Heider, and Trent Moriarty still not that far in front of them. So with 85 laps still to go, we're going to check back with Randy Marshall Jr. instead of that 25 car. He's been hanging out for quite a bit, trying to work his way forward, but we'll go back up front with your leaders.
Leaders starting to get into lap traffic there. You see right ahead of Derek Thorne is Wyatt Gardner and Bryce Bezanson back there battling for about the 19th position as Gardner goes up the track there, and so does Bezanson as Bezanson drops right in front of Thorne there. That takes the momentum a little bit away from Thorne and gives a chance to Owen Riddle to close that gap. So keep your eyes. They come off the corner there once again. Riddle going to try to get up on the backside of Thorne here. There's 84 laps to go on this one, and see Greg Bennett, driver we talked a whole lot about in the 98 car there, just kind of slowly riding along.
Yeah, Greg Bennett, he's been quiet this whole race. He's been able to just keep the car underneath him and take off all the laps, which I think was the team's real goal. That's the same car that they ran in last week's event for the Pro Late Model race, but he's going to be overtaken by Derek Thorne. He pulls to the inside, let them come by, and Owen Riddle in that 10 car caught him just at the wrong spot where he's going to have to enter a little bit higher in turns 3 and 4. So it's going to slow down the 10 car just enough, almost a little bit of contact with the lap car. Surprisingly, Owen Riddle did not lose that much momentum. He's able to stay pretty close to the back bumper of the 43.
Next car on the target there for being a lap down will be Tanner Holm in the 48T car. Former driver who's finished the top 5 of the Summer Showdown. He's not raced a whole lot this previous year. Is kind of focusing more on education, but has had some great runs here on the 5/8 track and success over the years, but just kind of cruising along in a new car the family bought just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he hasn't done a ton of racing on the asphalt side of things, but a couple weeks ago, it was actually his big micro sprint race up at Deming Speedway for the Clay Cup Nationals. He's doing doubleheader there, so he's been still spending a ton of time behind the wheel, just not here on the asphalt side and behind the wheel of a late model like we've seen. Is a little bit of contact between Cody Vanderwall and Tristan Heider as they battle for that 12th spot. So we're going to see them go down into turns number 3 and 4 as they continue to battle. Tristan Heider washing way up. You see a little bit of that speedy dry from Nema Lang's incident as they go down the front straightaway here in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be that high up in the marbles of 3 and 4, 1 and 2, and you see, oh, one more time, Heider goes up and slams the wall. We kind of saw that coming, though. The last 3 or 4 laps, he can kind of drifting up and kind of going against it, so tough break for Tristan Heider.
Yeah, something must be wrong in that 24 car for him to be running that high of a line. I don't think that's just, I couldn't tell you what it was, just something not agreeing with Tristan Heider, and he's able to continue going. You don't see too many cars that hit the outside wall in the corner and be able to keep going laps after that, so impressive for Tristan Heider to keep that 24 car on track.
Good bobbling there as you see the 17 car Max Schroeder now going to pull up there on the inside of Heider, and once again there is Preston Peltier still down a lap in the 18 car, is slowly trying to make his way up through the field, and you see Tristan Heider once again goes very slow, and I think his night might be done in the 24 car.
Pull it off in front of the 91 Jesse Little, so tough break there for Tristan Heider. We're going to go take a look at what happened in turns number 1 and 2, just coming up a little hot and just going to dirt track it through 1 and 2. We'll be back with the conclusion of the 200 lap Summer Showdown main event.